Everyone, we would like to introduce you to Climate for Change. Wait, Change for Relief. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
So with climate change being such a hot topic in the recent years, our group, Change for Relief, would like to address these issues through implementing different kind of activities and like social kind of engagement kind of opportunities to bring awareness to this issue.
And since carbon emissions are just so naturally involved into our lifestyles, we would like to introduce Change for Relief. Change for Relief, who would introduce alternatives for these. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, all. We are Change for Relief, and our name represents our hope to encourage individuals to lessen their carbon footprint in order to relieve the detrimental effects of global climate change.
So climate change. Climate change is the significant and lasting changes to the distribution of weather patterns. Former Vice President of the United States, Al Gore, once said, "Here's the truth. Here's the truth. The Earth is round. Saddam Hussein did not attack us on 9/11. Elvis is dead. Obama was born in the United States, and the climate crisis is real."
Climate change has become a global catastrophe that requires immediate international attention, and it has affected various aspects of life, including the shortage of water resources, increasing natural disasters, and thus causing climate-induced migration.
Climate change causes an increase in global temperature, which could cause an increase in severity and frequency of extreme climatic events. These include distorted rainfall distributions, lengthened droughts, and floods. Scholars also indicate that many prevalent human diseases, such as cardiovascular and respiratory diseases, are also linked to climate fluctuations.
Additionally, the severity of climate change can cause water scarcity. That is the lack of available water resources to meet the demands of water usage within an area. So changes in precipitation can cause significant changes in the recharge of groundwater in arid and semi-arid regions, which would increase the chance of water scarcity in these regions. And also, an increase in global temperature is currently melting snow covers and glaciers, which will decrease the amount of water resources by polluting water with sediments, fresh sediments, nutrients, and pesticides, degrading water quality beyond safe levels, and thus there is an increase in demand of water for its many uses in agriculture, industrial, and sanitation and hydration.
Many scholars have attributed that the increase in natural disasters and global water scarcity has caused a threat to food security and loss of agricultural land. This threatens the valuable resources as well as employment opportunities, making climate-induced migration the only viable option. And currently, under international law and policies, they fail to tailor to climate refugees, and this is an issue that requires the immediate attention of the international law community.
Despite continuous efforts to combat the impacts of climate change, there is still a lack of prioritization and mitigation, allowing the effects of climate change to worsen over time.
So in order to illustrate and bring all of these problems together, we want to show you a video. And in 2008, Al Gore and Davis Guggenheim came together and made a science documentary addressing the concerns of the validity of the science supporting the conclusions of climate change, while also presenting ways to sort through and come to personal and societal resolutions. So let's take a look at this video.
If you look at the 10 hottest years ever measured, They've all occurred in the last 14 years, and the hottest of all was 2005. Scientific consensus is that we are causing global warming. I am Al Gore. I used to be the next president of the United States of America. This is Patagonia 75 years ago and the same glacier today. This is Mount Kilimanjaro 30 years ago and last year. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro. This is really not a political issue so much as a moral issue. Temperature increases are taking place all over the world, and that's causing stronger storms.
Early this morning, Hurricane Katrina slammed into New Orleans.
Is it possible that we should prepare against other threats besides terrorists?
From Paramount Classics comes a film that has shocked audiences everywhere they've seen it.
The Arctic is experiencing faster melting. If this were to go, sea level worldwide would go up 20 feet. This is what would happen in Florida. Around Shanghai, home to 40 million people. The area around Calcutta, 60 million. Here's Manhattan. The World Trade Center Memorial would be underwater. Think of the impact of a couple 100,000 refugees, and then imagine 100 million. We have to act together to solve this global crisis. Our ability to live is what is at stake.
We strongly encourage everyone to watch the movie to gain more insights on what's happening to our planet. And with the problem, our group, Change for Relief's mission is to raise awareness to climate change and to help relieve the effects of climate change through our improvement plans.
A lot of people think that their actions are insignificant in contributing to actually making a difference to having a greener planet. But so our organization hopes to help people manifest their individual efforts into seeing that how they can actually contribute to that their leading a greener life can actually help us all. And we hope to do this through our 3-step plan, which is to educate people on the increase of global awareness of climate change, as well as the pledge system where people will pledge to reduce their carbon footprint. And finally, the money used from their pledge will go towards sponsorship and providing direct aid to people affected by climate change.
So first off, we want to start locally. So within Vancouver and through our group, just us, we will educate the public by holding campaigns, workshops, and going from school to school, talking to them and also illustrating the effects of climate change. And so through this, our aim is to increase awareness of the effects of climate change. And also, as we grow gradually, we look to expand towards other cities in Canada, and then later expand internationally while hiring staff to help us out.
Second, we plan to reduce carbon emissions through the incentive of direct aid toward those drastically affected by climate change. We've set up a pledge and sponsor system in which a carbon calculator on our website will show you where most of your carbon emissions come from, as well as the cost needed to offset these carbon emissions. Carbon offsetting is a way for individuals and businesses to balance their carbon footprint by funding a reduction of an equal amount of carbon emissions in some other parts of the world. And with this, we strongly encourage everyone to pledge monthly.
So by donating and successfully completing your pledge, you will be able to accumulate climate credits, which then can be used to redeem for coupons and green prizes such as reusable shopping bags and even a hybrid car. We are currently looking to partner with Safeway and Home Hardware for the prizes.
However, to be eligible to receive these prizes, you must create an account on our website so we can track your progress and we can track your progress as well as keeping track of your climate credits. Also, you can download our soon-to-be-released app, which will essentially do the same thing, but it'll also have tips and reminders to help you reduce your carbon footprint.
So the money donated will go directly to a family of your choice. This acts as an incentive because it helps to manifest individuals' efforts into providing direct aid to people who need it. And the donations will be used to deliver fresh water and food, as well as rebuild or building houses through organizations under the Climate Action Network. One such organization is the Refugees International, which is established in many of the countries that are overwhelmed by climate refugees. And we hope to encourage people to support this cause by profiling families and even establishments such as schools and orphanages in the target regions, so that people know exactly who and where their money is going to, and therefore will feel encouraged to make a difference.
So given our organization size, we plan to target one country, and the country where we will target is Bangladesh, because it's subject to the many effects of climate change, given its geographical location, hydrological regulation of monsoon rains, and regional water aggregation patterns. And so your funds will go towards supporting these families in Bangladesh, and you will then be able to see what your donation has gotten them.
Our budget consists of the following components, including app development, website and upkeep, sponsorship profiling, marketing, and management operations. Because we will plan to partner with many organizations that are already established in giving aid in many of these countries, that will help us reduce the cost of shipping the actual aid to those countries. And many of the green prizes that we hope to give out will also be obtained through sponsorship. And while we are a nonprofit organization, some of the revenue will be used to sustain the actual organization, but most of the funds that we get will go to providing actual direct aid towards the people affected by the impacts of climate change.
So to sum up, climate change is a serious problem affecting available water resources, increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters, and ultimately leading to people leaving their homes.
And so, just after our presentation, if you wish to contact us, you can visit our website, changeforrelief.weebly.com, and there you can find all our contact info, including Facebook, Twitter, and our email account. And also, we would like to thank all of you for your attentiveness, the conference organizers, especially Jasmine for being our supervisor, and you too, Dr. Patterson, for guiding us throughout the process. So, thank you.
Thank you for Change for Relief, and we would like to take your questions now.
You mentioned something about an education plan in Vancouver, and I'm wondering, is there any organizations already doing that? And if so, what makes your education plan different than others?
PowerSmart BC Hydro is doing a similar thing. And while they're concerned about energy conservation, we're also concerned about carbon emissions, but also the human aspect of seeing what the effects of climate change does to people around the world. So we'll be
We focus more on helping families affected by the climate change rather than keep telling you to reduce energy and everything.
So is your plan more about awareness or helping those who have been affected?
Both, by raising awareness about what we do here is able to affect people in other countries, even though they're so far away. And by doing that, we hope to actually encourage people to lead a greener lifestyle. It's not just about, oh, I'm just going to conserve energy for this month or for this week, but it's an actual plan that everyone has to learn to stick to.
I think building off of what Matt was asking, just about the education, I guess where I'd be concerned is that I think education about climate change isn't something that's particularly radical, and I think that that there will be a great number of people who may have a lot of money, have a lot of power, and quite frankly they just don't care, and that's one of the biggest problems I think with in terms of education about climate change, because there are people, again, yeah, with power who really you can tell, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face, but they really just won't listen because they're more concerned about money or how they themselves will do. So how might your education plan, I recognize this is kind of a difficult question, but how might your education plan deal with people like this who, you know, maybe they won't listen? Like, will you just, again, try to talk to them, to like speak with them, or maybe through examples of like your work? Just, I guess it's up to you, of course.
What our organization hopes to target is not just people in power. What we're trying to say is that everyone here, like every single person in this room, has an equal amount of effort that they can put towards helping climate change. So it's not just about people with lots of money. Everyone in this room can help to do their little part, and cumulatively that will help help people recognize the need to have a greener lifestyle. And well, we recognize that while people in power are able to definitely provide way more aid than individually we are able to, we think that getting the message out to the locals is more important.
You showed us a trailer for Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth, and you know, I was just thinking 2008 is the year that documentary was made. And I've been doing this conference since before 2008, and I was just wondering in my head how much has changed in terms of awareness and attitude amongst the general public who you're targeting from 2008 to 2013. Do you have any estimation of that? Did any of your research talk about actual changing attitudes?
In terms of numbers, we don't have like a number saying how much it has increased, but in terms of attitudes, most countries are still stuck in this political sense in which they don't want to cooperate to help out. And Vancouver, I know Vancouver for one is trying to go green. I think it was 2020 green. Vancouver, there's a kind of like a program to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and other countries are following up, but slowly and not. I don't think it's fast enough. Just so, because other countries have other things to deal with, like I said, the political aspect and just their social economics and everything.
The countries like Canada and the US, we could afford to, but we're not living that far.
And they're not
they're not.
prioritizing this.
So, like what happened with Kyoto? Did anything ever, the climate change agreement, did you look at that at all?
Yes.
It actually went down. I heard that Canada actually opted out of
That's right.
signing.
So I mean, in that way, just thinking about that, it is astonishing how much we have backed down from commitments that we made. So I really get your point about making it, you know, raising consciousness amongst individual people. I really get that, and I think it's a really good point, and I like the idea of doing an exchange. So how do we measure? Like if I were to, as I understand it, you make a pledge, if I made a pledge, if I joined your organization and made a pledge to measure my carbon footprint, so you make an app that I can actually apply and know what my footprint is as an individual?
Yeah.
And then everything I save gets sent to somebody who needs help from climate relief?
Yes.
Is that how it works? I like the idea of linking individuals across the problem.
How do you think your app will appeal to people? Because through our research, we found that since there's so many apps, it has to be something like really unique for people to want to use it.
Well, we provide words for using it. Like if you build up a certain amount of word points, you get redeemed with words, right? That's one. And of course, through our education campaigns and everything, we're going to advertise it so it will be more well known. And I think apps are more about advertisements than the actual content, because once you get people to start using it, they wouldn't go search for other things.
Where do the cost of the rewards come from? Because you say that whatever you save gets directly sent to another.
It's in the presentation as well. We have sponsorship we have partners who are sponsoring and working together with. So we're hoping to get rewards from them, and as part of the upkeep of the organization, it is allowed for us to take money to sustain the organization. So we could take part of that money towards rewarding people. Yeah, but mostly from the sponsors.
What sponsors are you referring to?
For the green prizes that we're gonna that we're gonna award people that they can redeem using their climate credits. We're gonna approach companies such as Safeway or Home Hardware, and they will be, so essentially we're not paying for the actual prizes, they're gonna be sponsoring us for the prizes.
It's just building on that side. Because you said that you wanted to have a hybrid car or two up for reward. Where are you gonna get that from? If you're
Yeah,
sponsored by
that's
Home
sponsorship.
Hardware.
Because many companies right now are looking towards corporate social responsibility, and we're gonna try to target them to be able to get the prizes.
What incentives do people have to telling the truth, considering they're a cash prize?
Sorry?
What incentives do people have to tell the truth on this app, considering there are prizes with monetary value?
They would actually have to show proof, like showing their electricity bill, for example. Like say, I plan to conserve more energy this month, and then if there's an actual decrease in their actual bill plan, then that would suffice as actual proof for you to redeem your credit.
Could you do that all electronically? I guess you could, right?
Yeah, electronic bills are all.
Huh. So you think you need incentives for people to be truthful? So, your budget had a total of $215,000?
Yeah, because that was mostly for the development of the website and the app and the marketing that will go into bringing out the name of the company. And because what we're hoping to do is partner with organizations that are already established in the, like, for example, Refugees International. They're already currently providing aid in countries that that have a lot of climate refugees. And by partnering with them, we won't be able to reap the cost won't increase as much because the money will actually just go directly to helping those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, we would like to thank Change for Relief for offering their innovative ideas. And lastly, we would like to call up James Choi for his wonderful keynote speech.